Jesus, you are everything we need. Yes. Oh, Redeemer, yeah. We will praise you with everything we are. Yeah. God, we lift our worship to you, Jesus. There's no one like you, Lord, anywhere. All that I am, we won't hold back our praise, Lord. All that I am, oh Lord, every fiber of my being, I'll give it all to you, Jesus. All that I am, all that I am, yeah. So I'll bless you, Lord, with all that's in me. I'll sing your praises forever and ever and ever. From the rising of the sun to the setting of the same, I will forever bless your name. Oh, thank you, Jesus. We worship your everything. We bless your name, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus.
Yeah, no. Oh. You know what's best for me. Oh, you know my every need, my Father. You know my heart, and you know it all. I'll never find another God. I could go east, I could go west, but I know I'll never find a God like you. I can turn right, I can turn left, but I know I'll never find a God like you. If there's anything you want me to do, you know I'll do it all for you. Cause I could go east, I could go west, but I know I'll never find a God like you. What a night when I found you. What a life that I have in you. I never thought that right now I'll be smiling, and it's all because of you. Lord, you came and you took away all the hurt of yesterday. I'm grateful, cause I'll never find a God like you. Oh, I could go east, I could go west, but I know I'll never find a God like you. I can turn right, I can turn left, but I know I'll never find a God like you. If there's anything you want me to do, you know I'll do it all for you. I could go east, I could go west, but I know I'll never find a God like you. I'll never find a God like you. 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 I'll never find a God like you. Never find a God like you. Like you. Oh, I'll never find a God like you. Never find a God like you. No. Never find a God like you. Never find a God like you. Never find a God like you.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Right.
Is that okay? Oh my, I guess we're on, huh? And just talking away. Good afternoon. This is your voice, Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to Ask Elaine. We want to thank the very fine folks here at Historic WDDO, especially our engineer who keeps us on the air. and uh, we've got some special guests today, y'all. This is the place to be. This is the place to learn. We want to welcome Randy Crawford. Hello, you know Crawford, right?
Yes.
Maria
Yep.
Cameron. Well, I'm going to tell you who our guests are, and then I've got one or two announcements, and then we're going to get into what our guests came to talk about. Our two guests today are none other than a man who served as the first Black mayor of Milledgeville, a man who served as a state senator. He has owned his own business. He's a military veteran, distinguished military veteran, has authored several books. He is none other than Representative Floyd Griffin, who represents District 149, which is a portion of Macon, mainly the east side of town. Our other special guest is going to be Senator David Lucas, who, when he was elected, was the youngest elected official. He was elected at 24. And he's starting next year, will be his 53rd year, I believe, serving in the legislature, either on the House side or on the Senate side. So those are our two favorite guests, two very special guests that you'll be meeting in just a minute. But I wanted to announce several things. We are in the process of getting the sample ballots. These will have a list of all of the races for May 19th. We know that there's a runoff election that's going on in Commission, Macon Bibb Commission District 5, between Andrea Cook and Ed Foster. And we have had both of those runoff candidates on Ask Elaine, one 2 weeks ago and one week ago, and we appreciate them coming on. And I want to remind all of you who are running for office, if you would like to do an interview, come on the Ask Elaine show. We welcome you. Just give me a call or send me a text message, and we will work you in. We will try to get as many candidates as possible. We've got a lot of contested races, and the election, next one, is May 19th, but early voting starts even before then. So we want to get as many people on as we possibly can. If any candidate wants to call in, our number is 478-250-1444. You're welcome to call in and let people know very briefly why they should vote for you, why you're running, and why you're a good candidate. But try to get in touch with us so that we could possibly get you on the Ask Elaine program. This is the program where you get smarter. There's no doubt about it. You get smarter because you learn every time you tune in to Ask Elaine. We want to welcome those who've joined us on AM, those who've joined us on FM, and those who are right here on the Glory Live on the Facebook page. I wanted to remind you of this. If there's anyone who wants a sample ballot, you can drop by EL High School Academy at 624 Sherling Drive in the Northeast Plaza Shopping Center. And we will be glad to either print out your own individual sample ballot, or we will have just blank sample ballots. We will also be available to let you know who the candidates are. And if you want to, you can sit and mark your ballot as we go through the different candidates. I have no problem with letting you know who I'm supporting. The senator doesn't either. So we will be glad to suggest some people that we know will not turn their back on you once they're in office. People who've given service already to the community and have shown that they know what to do, that their head is on right, that they can't be put in the race, that they can't be bought off, they can't be bossed around. And so those are the kind of folks that, and there are a bunch of them running who are very fine candidates. So we will be glad to make suggestions if you ask. But those sample ballots are going to be available for individuals. If you want to get some for your church, if you want to get some for your civic group, if the fraternities and sororities want to come by and pick some up, they of course will be the blank ones. And of course, you will encourage people to select their choices before going to the polls, because there are quite a few races on the May 19th ballot. And so if you want to get those ahead of time and then help people making sure that they're comfortable with exercising their right to vote. So if you have any questions, you have comments or anything, if you will call us today while the program is on, we'll be here till 4. The call-in number is 478-250-1444. And I have one other thing to share with you. A number of us have been very, very concerned about the polling place, the voting location, the main location at the Macon Mall. Shoot, I almost killed myself walking from the parking lot all the way down that long hall in front of the recruiting stations and the police, the sheriff's department office there. Then you turn a corner and you got to walk some more. We don't want anybody to be discouraged from early voting. And so I got word today that the Board of Elections members have been working on this, and there will be golf carts that they have worked out that are going to be available for those folks who have a mobility issue, including yours truly. I probably will get on the golf cart myself. That is a long distance to walk. And so they're working on not only the new section for the handicap that's closer to the parking lot, but they're also working on having golf carts and other things that are going to make it easier for folks to get in and cast their vote. We want to welcome George Thomas for Georgia House District 142. And he agrees with me that that's good news, that there's going to be greater availability, greater accessibility. And he says, good afternoon. Along with Randy Crawford, y'all hit like and share to remind people that Ask Elaine, your weekly talking information program, is on the air, and this is the place to get smarter. I guess Senator's going to come in here anytime, but one of our very special guests that we're going to go ahead and start talking to, because I know he has a lot to share with us, is none other than Representative Floyd Griffin. As I said, former mayor of Milledgeville, first Black mayor of Milledgeville, and also served in the state Senate. He has lots and lots of experience. He introduced a good bit of legislation, because he's not a newcomer to this thing. That's why experience matters, because people know what to do. People don't have to show them the restroom. They know where it is. People don't have to show them where the governor's office is, where the lieutenant governor's office is, where the snack area is. Representative Griffin, welcome to Ask Elaine.
Oh, thank you very much, Sister Elaine Lucas and Commissioner Elaine Lucas. And I always enjoy coming on your show to talk about things that very important, not only to East Macon and Bill County, but throughout Middle Georgia and the state, because there's so much going on now that we need to make sure that your listeners and the voters and the citizens too know what's going on in the state before they decide who they want to vote for.
That's right. That's right. And we just got a little note to express our condolences to the Galloway family in the loss of Andy Galloway, a very, very fine, involved citizen, was an executive at what we thought of the medical center, which is now Atrium, but he passed away a few days ago. The wake is on Friday evening, and the funeral services will take place. And somebody needs to give me the details. Just write them in the chat, and y'all see who's coming. Well, y'all on radio can't see, but senators.
My good friend.
Yeah, Senator
coming from Millersville.
Coming from Mill. I know you had a problem coming out of Millersville, but we were just expressing our condolences to the family of the late Andy Galloway. And both of you, I know, knew him. Right. So what I'm going to do is let you say one thing that you want to say about Andy Galloway. Right. And Senator, if you'll make one remark, and then we will go into our interview of you as you talk about what the key issues were during this legislative session, what got through, what did not get through, but your remark about Andy Galloway.
Yeah, I met Andy when I was in the Senate, and on down the line, he became a frat brother of mine, and a really fine gentleman. And I just want to say that those of you that's going to the funeral, I cannot make it. I have a funeral to go to that I've been committed to that Saturday, and even Friday night, I have a meeting with my campaign, dinner with my campaign staff. But we wish the Galloway family my condolences and wish them well.
Yeah, Senator.
And it was considerate and persistent.
Yeah, he was persistent. Yeah, very powerful too. Carried a lot of influence and was very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. So we join the representative and the senator, these two legislators, in sending our condolences. Pastor Lisa says our Senator Lucas and Representative Griffin did a good job this session. So you're already getting accolades. It is a very difficult place or time to serve with a Republican majority. They make it hard for everybody, whether it's local, state, or national. They make it hard for you, and they do it intentionally. They plan it out. So any of you have any doubts in your mind, just check the media and find out the latest things that the Republicans are plotting against you and your family. All right, Representative, tell us your overall impression of this legislative session, and then tell us some of the things that you were supportive of or introduced, and then we'll talk about the outcome.
Thank you very much. This session was one of the worst that I have been involved in because the Republicans, and I want everybody to hear me out there, they don't care anything about you, Black people, and poor white folks. Okay, and the legislation that they put forward in the House, and some of it that came over from the Senate, reflected that. And in the Senate, as our caucus, we fought all of that legislation, and some of it we were able to work with some Republicans that didn't go along with it to kill some of those.
They're getting sick of some of it too, huh?
Oh yeah, there are, there are a few Republicans in there that and I mean when I say a few, not a lot, that that are considerate, and they can't go along with that. They got to go back and and deal with their constituents also. I introduced 3 bills that only one of them received a hearing. We'll talk about those a little bit later if necessary. And several. One of the areas that I paid a lot of attention to was education bills, and that was good for our state and our community and our district. And we were able to support some of those that made it across the line. So it was a tough year.
Yeah, there was a lot of voter suppression stuff,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of kick them while they're down stuff, a lot of things. They don't deserve this, and so we're taking it away, but we can give millions to other folks, to businesses and stuff. A lot of that going on. Senator, you want to tell us your impression of the session?
Well, I'll have to say ditto to Representative Griffin. We got some things done. One of the things that I worked on was the Hancock County situation of putting a doctor and a PA, physician assistant there, that would be there every day, and not have health services kind of triage once or twice a week. Folks come in and they take folks' blood pressure, check them for diabetes and all those kind of. But Hancock County, we put it in the budget, $900,000 for Mercer Med School to put a doctor and a PA in Hancock County.
So how long has it been since Hancock County? You're from Milledgeville, right there near Hancock County. So you get to vote on whatever legislation comes through. But how long has it been since Hancock County had adequate medical?
Well, you know what I look at, they've had doctors there, but when you look at statewide health outcomes, Hancock County has the worst. And for 14 years, I worked on it. We started some thing with Mercer, got it, were working on it, and then of course were fought by the former chairman of the county commission, Sissy Hudson. This time we put it in the budget, and I have to say I had Republican help, the lieutenant governor, as well as Blake Tillery, who's the chairman of appropriations, stood fast and made sure that money stayed there, and it went to rural southeast Georgia to put a doctor and a physician assistant there, so that we would have a doctor there every day that can start dealing with the health outcomes of those folks in Hancock County.
Because that's 50 miles from Macon. If somebody gets sick in Hancock County, truly sick, that they got a trip, and a lot of people pass away making that trip.
Right.
From
to Augusta.
Yeah. So y'all, these are the kinds of folks that are busy working on your behalf. You got a number of them in the legislature that are just there because they want their name up there or for whatever reason. These are 2 that are getting things done. So that's one of the reasons, and they each represent the different houses of the legislature. And so we're just so pleased that we were able to get the both of you together. You ended the session. You said it was the worst one. What was some of the low, very, very low points?
Well, the low point, there were some bills, but the low point to me was the Republicans did not allow the Democrats to get hearings on their bills, or if they got hearings and made it out of committee, they were stopped in rules. I haven't been able to get the number of bills right now that fall in that category because we just signed it died last week. But I would say that we probably didn't get 20 bills heard in committees. I had 3 very important bills, and they were bills that really dealt with statewide. And I only got a hearing on one of those bills, and did not get a vote out of there.
See, and that's what's happening locally, where the commissioners don't have committee assignments. They sit and they vote in one big committee. It's committee of the whole. That is unfair. Nobody gets that extra input. And so, in the same way that they did that to y'all during the legislative session, because they're in the majority and they can outvote you, you have that same kind of stuff going on in Washington, where the Republicans are sitting up there letting people die of whatever, malnutrition, vaccines, and all of this stuff. You got on the state level, and then locally at the water board, there's one meeting per month. And then during the rest of the time, they keep you out of everything. On the commission, they have their meeting. It's a committee of the whole. And commissioners find out about stuff when people want them to find out about it. After all of the work has been done, all the input, then it's brought to you. But that's consolidation.
Yep.
Y'all fought
right.
off consolidation in Milledgeville,
Yep,
though. After y'all
yep.
saw what happened over here with black voting strength being reduced, nullified, and then nonpartisan elections to let Republicans hide, a number of things, all these redrawn districts, and then term limits too. All of that stuff was intended to keep black folks and brown folks in place. And we still have some people who are, and they're not all Republicans, that are working to try and keep black and brown folks in place. It's some that look like us that are doing that are wheeling and dealing and making their own deals in exchange for support. Y'all are the guests today. I said what I said, and I will say it again. Pastor Lisa is with us. Ricky Crawford, he says good afternoon to both of you,
Ricky.
distinguished gentlemen. He's giving us the details on Andy Galloway's services. The wake is Friday at Hutchings Funeral Home, 5 to 7 p.m. The funeral services are Saturday, 11 a.m. at Bethel CME Church on Pinona Avenue. Pastor Lisa says, wow, great accomplishments, $900,000 for Hancock County Health Care, doctor and physician's assistant. I'm trying to mention everybody. My sister Nita is on. Welcome to Ask Elaine. Susan Smith, Patrick Davis, our statistics guy. And I think I have acknowledged Randy and Ricky, of course. George Thomas for Georgia House District 142. And I think I have called everybody. I want you to know we're so happy that you've chosen to tune in to Ask Elaine, our two very special guests today. And this is a real coup here, y'all, to get these two on the same day, because they are very, very busy. And as you can tell, they're taking care of business, even though they're not in session. They are still going here and there. David represents 8 counties. Our representative, Griffin, represents a part of Macon, part of Jones County, and most of Milledgeville.
Yes.
So
but
you're doing all of this all the time. Go ahead.
Even though I have what you would call a portion of those counties, but once you get elected, you become the delegation.
Absolutely.
And you really it's just like you. Everybody in the county voted for you because you have a responsibility to work with the delegation.
That's right. But okay, now the things I remember was someone on the Board of Regents representing the historically black colleges and universities.
Yes, I wanted to put two representatives from one of those 3 schools on the Board of Regents. I did get a hearing, but that was it. And one of the reasons is that the chair felt that the governor would veto the bill if it came out. And we had a little chit chat on that because, see, the thing about it, I don't represent the governor. I respect the governor, whomever it is, in their position, but I represent the people in my district and the people of Georgia, and try to bring forth that type of legislation.
Right.
Now,
And that's why we support you.
Right.
And are going to vote for you because
Thank you.
I'm in the 149. That's why we support people who take care of the people's business.
But one thing about it, there's another year. Okay, and hopefully, I know we probably talk about this a little bit later about the election and so forth, but hopefully we will have a governor who's a Democrat.
Lord, please.
And we will increase to some degree our senator, some Democratic senators and House members also, where we can have more individuals to try to get things done.
Okay.
Well, you know, one of the problems is this: that we make a difference when it comes to a constitutional amendment.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It takes 2/3. But they did a bill this year that basically takes over MARTA in Atlanta. The appointees would come from the governor, the Speaker of the House, and the lieutenant governor. And right now, MARTA is made up of folks within those areas where MARTA is, but they will be able to pick 4 people from anywhere. But what they call themselves doing is taking over MARTA. And MARTA was created by Democrats. And people, the majority of the folks, where MARTA goes are Democratic counties. And so now they have completely done a turnaround. One of the things that we got to do, we got to stop talking and start voting.
Yeah.
We have forgotten our history and how hard it was for us to cast a ballot. And now we're sitting here and we're looking at folks, and when it comes time to vote, they can do everything they want to do, but they can't go vote.
Guess how many people had voted early in the runoff election for Commission District 5? Everybody was all fussing and carrying on. Our representative isn't doing anything. We don't ever see him. They said that about Seth Clark. And then when Seth resigned, then they had an opportunity, and you did have 6 people to step up and say, I want to run. But you have only had 59 people to vote. That was as of Monday evening. In early, what can 59 votes do other than if it's tacked on to the end of some thousands of votes? So I say to those folks who do all that talking, they need to do some walking. They need to go and help these candidates because they can't do these things by themselves. So they need help. They need you to chip in a little money because this stuff is expensive. Walk the walk. Don't just talk the talk. I've got Patrick Davis has a question for. This does not immediately impact Macon, but rural areas surrounding Macon should be concerned. State Rep John LaHood, that a familiar name?
Yes.
From South Georgia, just west of Valdosta, introduced a bill, House Bill 1567, after crossover day in General Assembly, is an impulsive attempt by Republicans to undermine democracy, violate voting rights, the Voting Rights Act, and silence minority representation in majority Black Quitman in rural South Georgia. There were efforts to dissolve a majority Black city. Could this happen in other Black rural cities such as Gordon, Sandersville, or Tennille? Let me see what else.
But they met on that bill. The House Minority Leader, Carolyn Huger, got involved, and they worked out something. But they had a bill, introduced a bill that would dissolve Quitman. Period.
Yeah.
And
Didn't they try something with Quitman one time before?
No, not that I know of. But anyway, the minority leader on the House side got involved with it before the bill could come over to the Senate.
Okay.
So they worked out something. I don't know what they worked out, but I know that she did meet with them because I called her about it because I got a call from some folks in Quitman, Georgia.
Yeah. That's
And
why it's
so-
important to have folks like this with experience who will keep their finger on what's going on and stop or slow down some of the junk that happens. What were you going to say?
And it's not only Quitman, but somewhere down in South Georgia also. I can't remember exactly.
Was it Cairo?
I don't know if it was Cairo, but anyway, David, I think you know they are trying to, some of those counties, they want to have partisan elections, where they can stack the deck.
Nonpartisan?
No, partisan.
Partisan?
Yes, partisan. It didn't go through. But because there are some of these counties with majority of the elected officials on the county and the city are black.
That's right.
Okay. So they want to do away with that.
Well, what we have to understand is what's going on in Washington. They're bringing it right down here to us.
Absolutely.
And when you say you're a Republican, then you are backing the president of these United States,
Right.
who's number one, a pedophile.
Yeah.
Girl said he raped her. You heard about it twice. Then he went and bombed Iran.
Yeah.
So you hadn't heard about the lady that said and accused him of raping her. All the thing you know is about Iran.
Mhm.
And then when you talk about the so-called Gulf of the port of whatever it is where these ships pass through, they cut a deal and he's gonna allow Iran to charge them a fee. They go through the thing.
Yeah.
These are oil ships. These folks are carrying oil and stuff. Now, where they were going through free, now Iran gonna get a commission off
$2
of
million per ship.
Yeah. Well, see, it's all about money. That's all the president of the United States.
He's made
is
$2
money.
billion. $2 billion have been added to his assets since he began the second term. And then his old blank-headed son-in-law got $2 billion at the end of the first term from Saudi?
Saudi Arabia.
They're making money.
They put money into their so-called crypto.
Yeah.
Let me read you the rest of what Patrick said on his chat. He said that LaHood's legislation would transfer all duties and assets to Brooks County, away from Quitman City, and set up a special tax district to cover outstanding debts. The city of Quitman is working to fix their audits. This legislation was removed on April 2nd, but this legislation could come up next year. Plus, other majority black cities could be targeted by Republicans. That could be a backdoor effort to allow counties controlled by mostly white Republicans to take over other majority black rural cities like Macon has been taken over.
Well, that and Patrick called me on that bill also and talked to me. But let me tell you what. All of what he has stated is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But what we got to do, we have to keep those individuals in the legislature who will fight this kind of stuff. Okay? Because that's the only way The only way we can stop it is vote against it. And we got to get people in there who understand that.
And who will raise a whole lot of HE double L.
That's right.
The problem is people are running, but we don't need no scared Negroes up there where we working at. You can't go along to get along. You got to stand fast, and you got to represent the people who elected you to come there.
Right. Let me ask this. Is our program being aired on this station today? Is this program being aired today, Mr. Engineer? Because I just got a note from someone saying that this program, the radio station, is not airing the program.
I just saw something say that somebody's mic is muted. I don't know if it's mine or someone else.
Okay.
Randy says yes.
Randy says yes. Okay. Well, maybe there was a time when it wasn't being heard. I don't know what's going on, but there's too important. This information is too important for it not to be aired. But those of you who are on the radio, I trust that you're hearing if you're on AM or FM. But of course, I'm disturbed if someone says that the program is not being aired. But Randy says yes, so good. A side note from Patrick, y'all, Quitman was targeted in 2010 by Brian Kemp when he was Secretary of State and instructed the GBI to raid their homes. You remember the Board of Education Black Swan seats, and they put them out. They tried to put them on trial because Gabio, led by the former state representative Tyrone Brooks, you were a part of it. We went to Quitman. I went down there and tried to march a little bit. But we went there, had a march, and had our Gabio conference down there because of the stuff that was going on. And it's obvious they're back at it. Oh yeah, they were called the Quitman 10+2, and you remember the mayor. What was her name? Her last name was Denard, wasn't it?
I think so.
That was elected. State of Georgia took them to court 3 times and failed, mostly mistrials. I thought I remembered something about Quitman. Gentlemen, we want to hear a little bit more. I know the audience wants to hear a little bit more about what they need to do to influence the passage of legislations that's going to help the most people.
Well,
Y'all care to comment?
The first thing they got to do is vote. If they vote, folks see where you are. But if you don't vote in these important elections, they look at it too. And that's how they decide what they're going to do.
Right.
Because, well, y'all, they ain't going to show up.
That's what they say.
And that's part of the problem. So what you have to have, Black folks need to understand their history, where they came from, how they got there. We both were standing on the shoulders of Martin Luther King, Ralph Abernathy,
all 3 of them,
Jose Williams.
Yeah.
We're standing on their shoulders. When I look back and look at my legislative career, I worked in the campaigns of the first Black state representatives in Alabama, Tom Reed and Fred Gray. I worked on Johnny Ford, who was the first Black mayor of Macon County, Tuskegee, Alabama. I went out and I knocked on doors trying to get folks to get elected. Not only did I do that, I got shot at. I was standing on the porch and heard a gun go off and pellets hit the lady's door, everything. I'm standing in the doorway. I didn't get hit, But I'm trying to tell you, and I was in a place called Eufaula, Alabama.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it was serious business.
Yeah.
My classmate, Lucius Amos, the first black sheriff in the South. So I grew up some of those
You
folks.
what?
And
Oh, by the way, these two are Tuskegee grads, y'all, and we have a phone call.
Yeah.
Caller, welcome to Ask
Hello?
Elaine. Hey, how are
Hello.
you?
Hey, Commissioner Lucas. Hey, Senator Lucas. And hey, uh,
Representative
Representative
Griffin.
Griffin.
Griffin. That's good.
Yeah.
hi, how are you all?
We're great. We're great. Thank you for calling.
It's Commissioner Bryant. I have a question for Senator Lucas. And my phone is down. I can't hear y'all on the radio, but that may just be my radio. I may be out of pocket somewhere. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Senator Lucas, tell me, what is the Hatch Act and how does it relate to
the what act?
Hatch.
Hatch Act.
Hatch.
That's dealing with federal employees.
And if you're federally connected, you can't run for certain offices. You can't.
You can run if they're nonpartisan. And you have a lot of folks who have run, who worked on Robins Air Force Base, who have held office in Warner Robins, but it's nonpartisan.
Right.
Okay, can you tell me how does it affect the elected official that may use a status of the government or say such as yourself to say that I'm going to endorse a candidate, but you're using capital to do it?
You can endorse anybody you want to, but like in Warner Robins, it's nonpartisan. Now it's nonpartisan in Macon, which means that you can work for the federal government
and run
for office. But if you got partisan elections, you can't run.
All right, Patrick adds this information. The Hatch Act of 1939 prohibits federal employees from engaging in partisan political activity while on duty in federal buildings or using government property. Violations include using official authority to influence elections, soliciting political contributions, or wearing partisan gear at work. Penalties include removal, suspension, or a $1,000 fine. So that's the information on the.
That's the encyclopedia talks.
That's Patrick, Mr. Encyclopedia. We love all of the information that he provides to us.
Let's talk about Macon, Bibb County. I introduced a bill that will have redistrict the water authority. Water authority members are 37,500. That's how many folks they represent. County commissioners represent 17,000. 17. Now you have the water authority that's handles county water. You got county commissioners who handle county business. But the water authority members are 20,000 more than the county commissioners who represent the entire county too. Their districts are too big. Nobody wants to touch them. Nobody wants to touch them. People you talk to, nobody wanted to sign the bill. And then, of course, I had questions by folks who look like me. Well, did the water authority ask you to do it? The water authority doesn't have to ask David Lucas to do anything. I did it because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. There's some folks that ask stupid questions. They are there to represent the people in their community. And if there's legislation, then they ought to be willing to stand and say, I support it or I don't support it, one way or the other. Patrick adds this on that whole issue of ethics. A mayor in Georgia can illegally use their office, which constitutes a violation of state laws regarding ethics, conflicts of interest, and abuse of power. Illegal activities include converting city property or funds for personal use, taking unauthorized money through extortion under color of office, and violating conflict of interest statutes. Such actions can lead to indictment, removal from office, or criminal charges. And so that's a little bit more information on to respond to some of the concerns and questions that people have been asking. All right. Commissioner Bryant, are you still on? Okay. If anyone else wants to call with a question or a comment, our call-in number is 478-250-1444. And we welcome you to call in. We'll answer your call. Put your question or comment in the chat. This is a very, very interesting show today, and we do appreciate being able to get two of our most learned elected officials. They've served in different capacities. They've served in office a long time. They've developed the know-how and the knack and the contacts that's needed to get stuff done and get it done quickly. If you're just getting there, you're at a disadvantage because you've got to learn the system. But if you've been there and you've been paying attention, then you've got a wealth of knowledge. And these two gentlemen have just that. I've seen the both of you take a problem, call up somebody that you've served with previously, or you've served with their relative or whatever, and get the answer to the information. And so there is the ability to do that, and having that background and those experiences really do matter. Experience does matter. So
well, you got to realize one thing: the governor increased money for the Department of Transportation, which is, we have a project in Macon that's ongoing, and we are making sure that the money is there so we can finish this project.
So both of you, since you're in the BIB legislative delegation, are working to keep that on track.
That's right.
And make sure it's safer for all the folks going through here, and then all the trucks coming through get to whiz on through and not.
Yeah, but they gonna finish it one day. Right now, you got lane changes that are going on. You got to get acclimated so you don't tear up your vehicle. But one of the things that you have to realize, that when they do these projects and finish them, they don't feel like they had to come back and do something 20 years later.
Right. They plan far into the future in advance. So, but it is going to be safer. It will allow for more movement of traffic. Macon is centrally located, so it will allow for us to have more people to come to Macon. People like coming to Macon. They do not like going to Atlanta. So having the upgrade as far as our roads is, I think, wonderful. And we want to salute the two of you for all the work that you've done in making sure that those billions of dollars were spent in Macon-Bibb County to improve our highway system and our safety. What were you going to say?
Well, I just want to say one other thing about the Republicans before we get off. What the Republicans are doing, they are taking Republicans and putting them in some Democratic primaries. Then they have a Republican in their primary. So what they are doing, they want to make the Democrats spend more money to defeat that Republican in the House and drain them if they lose. Win, they drain with money. Now, I have a Republican.
I was going to ask you if you're running in May 19th
right.
in the Democratic primary.
Yes.
We know from your voting record you are a Democrat. You voted Democratic. You represented as mayor and all the other positions. You're a Democrat. The other person has a record of not always voting Democratic.
Absolutely.
I've seen the record myself. I have seen it. And so folks do these kinds of tricks to us. So you have an opponent in the Democratic primary, May 19th. And we're encouraging people, don't be tricked. They're trying to cut him off in the Democratic primary because there's another Republican waiting for November. If he gets through, and that's the strategy, we'll run somebody now. And then if that real Democrat happens to get through, squeak through, we've got somebody else waiting for him. And y'all don't go vote. So maybe we got two shots at this. So y'all, we'll have those sample ballots next week, and you can look and see who the person is. Well, Patrick Davis put the name out there. He says it's Ross Shepherd in Milledgeville, is a Trojan horse running, probably supported, probably supported by Lester is what he's got on here. I don't know that to be true, but Patrick is usually right on what he puts on here. So, somebody with your experience now, Senator, you don't get by this time either. You do not have a Democrat running in the Democratic primary, but there are two women, I won't use that word. I will just say two Republican women. Yeah. One Black female Republican woman living in Macon. Her name is Nancy Hicks. And there's a white female Republican who resides in Sparta. Right. And she, this Nancy Hicks, she and the other opponent, other Republican, are running against each other on the Republican ballot in May. But whoever wins out of those two goes against Senator Lucas in November. So people saying, oh, y'all have all this experience, y'all have been around a while and all of that. Y'all stay home and don't vote, and you will see that we can lose experience. And that's not just in these two races. This is a strategy that's nationwide, that they're using nationwide. And so we don't need to be tricked. We need to get ready and vote.
But that strategy is on Black elected officials.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
That's
absolutely.
Right.
And one other thing they need to remember, people like the senator and I, if assume we lose, which we aren't, I mean, in the general, what is going to happen? Your future generations, they're going to be lost. You see what I'm saying? We are running to maintain what you talked about earlier, Senator, back at Tuskegee and all of that. I was there working with the first Black sheriff. I helped him get elected. And one other thing, my classmate was the first Black killed in the civil rights movement. Sammy Young, my classmate. Okay, so y'all, we talk about we are on Dr. King's and all of those people's shoulders. That's true.
Yeah, because
but there are some on our shoulders also.
Yeah.
We you got to realize we grew up watching on black and white television.
Yeah.
And we saw Bull Connor in Birmingham sick German Shepherd dogs on folks who were trying to vote. We watched that on black and white television.
Yep, that's right.
You know, so young folks didn't see that. They don't know what happened. But what they've got to do, they got to be able to read. And if you read about your history. Read about
if
what
they can
happened.
Read, that's another problem.
Well,
if they can read and comprehend what they read.
Because education is being denied to a lot of black and brown folks. Patrick shares another example of something that happened in the last several weeks. Patty Bentley, and many of you know Patty, she's in Macon all the time, pretty much as Mary Ann Whipple from Gordon is over here. But Patty owns a funeral home in Butler.
Butler, yeah.
And she was recently, she's the Democratic candidate for House District 150. It's her House district. And she is being challenged in November by a Republican.
Right.
As a Republican.
But they took her to court
and they
said that she didn't reside in her district and she won.
She was challenged in her House District 150 seat. She won, but a white Dixiecrat from Dooley challenged her. His brother is running against her and challenged her. She had to go to court to the hearing and she won. And she is the candidate, the Democratic candidate who will face off against this Dixiecrat Republican in November. So all this stuff is on and on and on. It's going on nationally. It's going on the state level. It's going on locally. All of these things are happening. And we call names. Thank you, Patrick, for putting these names out here. Our son, Leonard Traveler Lucas Sr. is on, and he salutes both of you for your service. And then Patrick says Republicans are reluctant to take on local legislation involving redistricting right now. However, if we vote in larger numbers, win the governor's race, along with recapturing the state house and state senate, we can get things done in Bibb. And we can. And there are a lot of Democrats who are running in a lot of different races in the state of Georgia. So we got to do our part. This area usually votes majority Democrat. And I hope that remains that way. So we're we've got 2 minutes. So each of you has a minute to do a closing remark to the listeners.
Well, I started. Let me say this. I want to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to represent you. I've tried to do the job that's required and try not to forget from whence I come. And so I ask you for your vote and support this election year.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to ditto what the senator said. But I want the people here in East Macon to understand that the reason I won last time was because of East Macon. They took me over the hump because Millersville is still a Republican county to some degree. Now, I ask you all again to put me back in there, help put me back in there, and I'm going to do the same thing. Everything I promised you all last time, I did. I gave $1,000 to the Boys and Girls Club. I had a town hall meeting, and I go to things. I try to come to everything over here. Commissioner Elaine put on my plate. So Thank you all very much, and I look forward to continuing serving.
Well, we thank you, and we are just thrilled that the two of you were able to come on the program today. We'll have you again real soon. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again next week for another edition of Ask Elaine.
Don't